Hi, am I starting?
Yeah, you start.
I guess I decided. Today we're going to talk about dreams. Have you ever wondered, I don't know, like why I dreamt that or why I keep dreaming something?
Have I?
Yeah, you're the only one here.
This is like a rhetorical question to our audience.
No.
Yes, yes, Lindsay. You know, come to think of it, I
You've
have
had
wondered
dreams.
that. Yeah, yeah. No, I actually that was I would say one of my initial reasons for having some interest in therapy was
Dreams.
dreams and dream analysis and things of that sort. So we're going to talk about dreams today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're not going to go into a bunch of theory just because we are trying to keep these videos short, but if you are interested in the longer Adlerian take on this, we'd be happy to do another video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We also have some news that we'll be announcing in a video, I don't know, sometime in the not so distant future about some opportunities that you might have to learn a little bit, I guess, more about dreams and a bunch of other things too. So,
Fun. Well, I guess I can sum up the reason that we study dreams is because they are expressions of our lifestyles. And by lifestyle, and I think we sum it up the same way, the patterned way that you handle the challenges of life. So when you meet a challenge, what do you do consistently? And dreams are a really, really fun tool. They're a way of, I don't know, problem solving. I like to tell my clients that when they have a dream, it's a challenge that during their waking life they're trying to avoid, but then when they fall asleep, our bodies are like, well, that's cute. We're going to work on it now. And then it's a way that you don't have to acknowledge it while you're awake, but it is a way that you fight challenges. So
I like that. I sometimes talk with clients about that dreams are stories that we get to tell ourselves and embody, like we get to be part of the story, but that they're not restrained by the rules of reason or of nature, and that allows us to, let's say, engage with challenges in a way that is, I'm thinking of Julia Kristoffer's word of semiotic, like it's bodily sense, not like mind sense. And what's great about that is that, you know, we love to think of ourselves as like highly rational people. And of course, we have rational capacities that are actually pretty impressive, but also reason is not what governs our behavior. And so sometimes this is why I like to look at dreams, is that in the stories that people are telling themselves in their dreams and that they're embodying, all the like normal rules of things go away, and there's a kind of like acceptance of that. Like it's not inappropriate for me to be like, in my dreams I can fly, whereas if I'm running around saying I can fly in the waking world, people might think I'm crazy or something. So anyways, so I don't know if there's more that you want to say about dreams, or how are you imagining that we are gonna do this today?
I just want to keep it simple and fun, so that way if you have a dream, and now we should probably give some like warning, like this is not like, I don't know, how do you want to phrase it? Like it's not a silver bullet for like, oh, this is what your life means. It's, you know, it's a part of a whole. You have to look at your general behavior. But I do think it's fun because everybody sometimes has dreams. Yeah. And if you're not remembering dreams, maybe you're just really socially interested. That's what Adler said, because you deal with your problems in the waking life. So
well, there you go.
Congratulations.
Pat yourself on the back.
Or you sleep really, really well. Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah, an Ambien or whatever. So I think what we'll do is I'll share a recurring dream that I had from when I was little. And this also works for daydreams.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share a recurring dream, and you're just going to kind of maybe walk through the steps. We don't need to do all the psychoanalysis that we might have done, but just some fun questions that you can ask yourself. And then you can also comment on the videos. People don't comment. You can comment. We'll answer. So feel free to do that. Okay. So, and I did not rehearse this at all, so I'm putting this down.
Just to be clear, I've not heard this dream. And I guess you could say, well, he's just saying that, but maybe you'll trust us. But I've not heard this.
Actually, don't know if I've told you this dream. I might have, but okay. So I'm probably like 9 or 10 when I'm having this dream, and I had it like 3 times. And in the dream, I'm in my bed, and I have this sense that there's something under the bed, something that's trying to harm me, or that might be unsafe. And I just have this inkling that it's a vampire.
A vampire?
A vampire.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm sitting in bed and I'm trying to think what to do. And I remember I wrapped the blanket around me, but so I can still see. So I'm like holding myself, and then I decide I just have to count to 3 and look under the bed. Because if I look under the bed, I don't know why, but that's gonna fix it, and I'll know what the real danger is. Because I mean, if he's under there, he's gonna get me, and I'd rather know that he's gonna get me, than be startled. And then I peer over the bed and I wake up. I don't actually get to see what's under there, but okay. I look over, and then the dream's over.
Okay. Now, I want to just quick disclaimer. I'm going to ask some follow-up questions. In no way are we saying that this is the way that you have to work with dreams, or that every therapist is going to work with dreams, or anything like that. These are some questions that I might typically ask a client.
And me.
And then I would ask myself. This is just kind of like our method. So, okay, now I'm going to say the dream back to you to make sure that I'm attuning well. So you're about 8 or 9, when somewhere around there, when you would have this recurring dream. Okay, but in the dream, you're laying in bed, and then you have this sense, and who knows how, but you have this sense that there's something under the bed that wants to harm you, and for whatever reason, you decide it's a vampire.
It's a vampire. I watched a lot of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Okay. So, and then you kind of you wrap your blanket around you, okay, and you decide, okay, I'm just gonna if I just count to 3 and look under the bed, then that's what's gonna fix it.
Yeah, that's my only option.
Okay, yeah. And maybe some of the things that are accompanying that is, okay, it's gonna get me one way or the other, but if it's gonna get me, I want to know that it'll get me.
Yes.
Okay. And so then you count to 3, you look over, and before you're able to see, poof, you wake up.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything that I'm missing that's important in there? Okay. So well, as you think on that dream, what's the part that sticks out as being most vivid or clear?
Me swinging down to look.
Now, can you show me? You're doing this with your hand. Can you?
Yeah. I'm just like swinging my body over.
Okay.
The bed.
You're swinging your body over.
Yeah, like bracing my hands, but then just like peering over.
Okay.
Yeah. Just going for it.
Okay. Just going for it. Now, I like that we got a little phrase with that. Now, as you think about that swinging of the body over, and you brace your hands, and then you're just going for it. What's the feeling that you associate with that? The emotion.
Courageous.
Courageous. Okay. And
and excited.
Courageous and excited. Okay. Now, you've given us 2. For you, no right or wrong answer, what would be the precise opposite of this flavor of courageous?
Withdrawn.
Withdrawn. Okay.
Like I give up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then the opposite of exciting, no right or wrong answer?
Terrifying.
Terrifying. Okay, now just to be clear, some guesses that I'm making in my head, some things that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking, okay, she wants to move towards courage and away from withdrawing. That would be my assumption. Yeah.
And this is why we ask about the opposites.
Yeah.
Like maybe we should say a little bit about that super quick. Do we have time?
Basically, a super quick version. Anytime that I get an emotion from a client, or let's just even say for myself, whenever I'm feeling something, sometimes I say, okay, well, for me, no right or wrong answer. What would be the precise opposite? And what I've got now is I've got what I want to move away from, and I've got what I want to move toward. And that shows me some of my movement. And this is an idea from Alfred Adler of moving away from a felt minus and towards a felt plus. We could, talk about that some other time, but just a great little method. We learn all kinds of really important things about clients when we do that. Okay, so you had courageous and withdrawn, and then excited and
terrified.
Okay, so she wants to move from terror towards excitement, and away from withdrawal and towards courage.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want us to imagine that this dream, okay, that you just told us, is a fable, kind of like Aesop's fables, like Tortoise and the Hare.
Okay.
And at the end of a fable, we get a moral of the story, a little short phrase that it perfectly explains the story. It's like a little lesson, but also we can pluck it out of the story and apply it to life in general.
Okay.
So if you were going to give this a moral of this, what would be the moral of the story here?
When you're scared, sometimes you just need to go for it.
When you're scared, sometimes you need to go for it. Okay, excellent.
And try anyway.
Now,
even if you might get hurt.
Okay, now, oh, here we go.
Add it on there.
So
I already know in the challenge in my life that this is correlating to.
Would you like to share?
Sure. So this in particular, like recording videos and teaching, I have social anxiety, and among other things, it's just really, really hard for me to do this. But I am doing it anyway. I'm just trying, and I'm really imperfect at it, and I have a nice partner that is good at riffing off of what I say. But especially teaching, I'm teaching in Dublin this summer at Akasi, and I'm scared as hell. And part of me wants to just withdraw and say I can't do it. But I know that what I probably need to do is just go for it.
Just go for it. Just swing that body over.
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay, now, I mean, Lindsay, she's done us a big favor here. Of she's connected some dots for us. But, of course, she's talking about a current challenge. But this is a dream, that she had when she was 8 or 9 years old. And so we might say, well, like how much meaning can there be for a present challenge when it's way back then? I don't know if you want to speak to that a little bit.
Well, back then, sum it up just in case so I don't reveal too much. I was very anxious. I didn't really have a voice. Well, I had a voice, but it got kind of silenced. And I just started people pleasing and not really listening to myself. And I shut my mouth and I didn't try anything new because failure was not an option for me. Not in reality, but that was my perception that I could not fail. So I didn't try anything new. I was scared all of the time because what I wanted more than anything was to be loved and accepted. Okay. So.
And I'm curious, if you could imagine, and of course this is an unreasonable question to ask, at least within expectation of accuracy, but 8 or 9 year old you, what meaning would you have given to what's the moral of the story that you would have given to the dream back then?
I probably would have said, even if you suck at it or you're not good at it, try it anyway, just so you can see what you like and what you're good at. Just try.
Okay. Yeah. Now, so whenever I am listening for lifestyle, okay, so I'm hearing some things in here, right, for Lindsay. Lindsay, these would be some guesses that I would make about, and to be fair, I know Lindsay pretty well, but... And
we're trying to get at lifestyle, again, which is the patterned way that we handle the challenges of life. So when I meet a challenge, what might I do?
So a couple things that I noticed, right? I'm looking for assets and liabilities. So the assets, that's really what we've been talking about. That even though she's scared, she'll try stuff. She'll go for it, and that she has it in her to be courageous instead of withdrawing, and she has it in her to reframe terror as excitement. To move from this is going to go badly into an opportunity, which these are. I mean, truly, really wonderful things. There are also, other things that are liabilities, and this is no knock on Lindsay. Any lifestyle, there are liabilities to it. There are costs to being, to any strategy that we take on in managing life. So one of, some of the things that stick out to me, and I'd want to get your thoughts on this. I don't want to, explain you to you.
Mansplain my life.
She intuits a threatening force, even though she has no evidence to support the idea that there's anything under her bed that's going to hurt her. She knows that it's there. And this is, let's say, an incredible thing to have as an individual, to be able to intuit. Now, the problem with intuition is, particularly for people who are intuitive, okay, meaning that a lot of their intuitions are correct, and yes. Lindsay, this is an intuitive woman, and so a lot of the guesses that she makes about life and about people and about herself, they're correct, which is a problem, because sometimes sometimes there's nothing under the damn bed.
There's no vampires.
But you're sitting up there terrified, and you're so scared, and you're this whole time, and there's nothing under the bed, and so that's also part of the lifestyle. It's not just that, and she's figured out how to manage this well, right? Of like swinging her body over, and well, I'm going to look anyways. If I'm going to get hurt, well, I'm going to know it at least. But also part of the lifestyle is that it could be that you invent threats. That you intuit that there's this thing down there, and it's gonna suck my blood, and it's gonna hurt me, and this is gonna go terribly, and what do you think maybe the cost of that is? You could speak to your own life, but you could also just speak generally, whichever you're more comfortable with.
What, just fabricating things, just making boogeymen in the closet out of sweatshirts?
Yeah, or vampires under the bed. Yeah,
vampires under the bed. That I don't try anything, that I'm anxious all the time, and I just I'll probably get a panic disorder, honestly. I worry about worrying about what's going to happen, which is what I used to do. I used to say, I can't do it. It'll X, Y, and Z will probably happen, because that's what anxiety does. Has an open-ended question, and we don't know the answer, so our brain answers it to try and give us certainty and predictability, and which is great. It's really great that our bodies are taking care of us like that, but also it leaves me anxious and not trying anything. And then you start self-bullying and saying, well, you really can't do it. You might as well not try. You might as well bail out and not try and teach, because you'll probably sound stupid anyway, which is not true.
Yeah, it's like I tell this to clients sometimes. There's this fundamental unfairness about the world, and it goes something like this. Let's say that I wake up tomorrow and I decide, you know what, I'm going to have a great day. Things are going to go well today. Things are going to go smoothly and easy, and I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to laugh a lot. If I go and try that, I mean, I might have some success, but I have no certainty over that outcome. None at all.
Nope.
Because I don't know, like maybe I go out and, well, my tire's flat, and then my car won't start, and then somebody who I asked for a ride is not very helpful or kind. And then my client's no-show at the office, and I don't know, the internet's down, and I mean, this is all stuff that I can't control, and it's just whatever. Happened. Yeah, I all have happened. Now, here's the fundamental unfairness. Okay, let's say that I wake up tomorrow and I say, you know what, I'm gonna have an awful day. Things are gonna go terribly. People are not gonna be nice. I'm not gonna be very nice either. I'm gonna make sure that I have a flat tire on my car. I'm gonna, cut some wires and make sure that my car won't start, and I'm going to be kind of a jerk so that whoever I ask for a ride, that they're not very nice back. You know what? I can do that.
Yes, you can.
I can make my day go terribly. I can't make my day go well. And so there's this fundamental unfairness. Now, why I'm mentioning that in relation to your dream, right, is that sometimes when we intuit that there are vampires under our beds, metaphorically, we put them there. And that then suddenly there are these vampire, and this is a horrible thing about anxiety, right? It's like, if, let's say, anxious about public speaking, like you're talking about with the course this summer. If you're like, oh no, I'm going to suck, and then you feel, oh no, and you feel anxious, and then you get up there to talk, and of course you're anxious, so you're not thinking clearly, and then you kind of suck. Yep. And then you say, see, I knew I was going to suck.
Which has happened how many times?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
Like 4. So
like 4? That's not that many.
Well,
no, it's heartwarming that's the number that you came up with.
It's probably like 5 or 6, but
it's
nobody comment on that.
It's not that I'm not saying, yeah, this happens all the time. She gets up there and she sucks. She's a great instructor. She does an incredible job when she teaches. But it's like, if the only times when I see you having difficulty with doing well is when you're worrying about doing well.
I know.
Right? Yep. So this is, okay, just to say, this is why we like to work with dreams. And if for no other reason, what we've got a metaphor. And there's another video that we're going to do on metaphor and how useful that can be. But if for no other reason, now I've got this way to talk with Lindsay about how she is, and her strengths and her liabilities, but it's all nested within a story, within an experience that she's had, and that's so much more helpful than, let's say, just talking about it in terms of theory.
Yeah.
So
I love dreams. They all have a purpose. And I like to look at the feelings as sort of like my body preparing me for action in my waking life. Like, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to find a way to get excited about something. And that is literally something that I do. And I teach my clients about how to move from the state of arousal of anxiety over to excitement and sort of, trick your brain. And that's what I do. I shift to excitement about sharing something with people on stage, even if it is I'm sucking up there and they're like, well, she's still up there and she hasn't passed out or thrown up, so good for her. And they're like rooting for me, that they know that they can be imperfect too.
That's a very this is straight from Alfred Adler. His idea about dreams was that they it's like a mental experience that invites a feeling state that is needed to attend to challenges. And so just even that you like the way that you frame it now, we've got these feelings of courage and excitement, and that's what then when you wake up you have these feelings of courage and excitement, and this compels you to move into action. Yeah. So, and
it also just, because why not, it can help you like grieve what you didn't get as a child. That's what I do. I'm sad that I didn't have the courage to try things, and now I can do that with my daughter. I'm instilling all the courage, and now she's who I want to be when I grow up. She's the most courageous. She will climb on anything. So anyway.
Well, I hope this has been helpful and interesting for y'all. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned. We'll have more content for you next week. Thanks. Bye.